Hey guys and girls, Justin here, back inside our Summit Racing trailer for our next installment of trailer upgrades. We've got our garage grip trailer carpet down and looking great, so we're gonna turn our focus to our cargo tie-down system. That's the key to the functionality of our trailer. But before we get into that, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our project builds, tech videos, features, and more. All right, for the cargo management portion of this overhaul, we're installing our very own Summit Racing X Pattern E-TRAC in our trailer. Let's take a closer look at the tracks themselves. So you'll notice multiple mounting points on each section of the track. This is a 2-foot section here, and there are about 15 mounting points per every 5 feet to be exact. This will allow us to add multiple anchor points within our trailer for maximum versatility. The tracks are made from heavy-duty steel to manage the heaviest loads, and the tracks can be mounted wherever, like the floor or the walls, like we are. We have a few choices on how to install these. These can be welded, screwed, or riveted in place. For our trailer, we're gonna opt to screw our track down. Once we've got them installed, we'll use a number of Summit Racing E-TRAC accessories to ensure safe transport. This can be a combination of this spare tire holder, these O-ring tie downs, and these 1,000-pound rated tie down brackets. Now let's get to work on mapping out our Summit Racing E-TRAC system and getting the pieces secured. So our trailer has 4 pre-installed mounting points that I also want to continue to utilize. So I'm going to do E-TRAC between those and then in front of it as well. So I'm going to work my way towards the back of the trailer, and then I'll do the front up here. Now it's very important when kind of figuring out where you're going to mount your E-TRAC that you lay it out and kind of visualize before you start screwing stuff down. So I'm going to go ahead and mount some E-TRAC to I think this wall and mount our spare tire right here. So I've got this measured out about 21 3/4 from our wall. That's how I'm gonna run it down and kind of keep it straight. Wherever our floor joist is, I'm gonna go ahead and put some self-tappers in there. So during this install, I'm gonna install kind of screws every 3 cleats so I don't bore you guys with putting a screw in every hole. Not only is it grabbing into the wood with these screws, but when we find the floor joist and I grab the magnet and find those, we'll screw into those as well, just to give us an extra peace of mind. So let's throw a couple more screws in this thing and move on. So for the most part, we have our E-TRAC all screwed to the floor. There is a couple pieces I need to go cut. And that's the cool part about this stuff is it's made out of steel, so you can cut it to length. So if you want to buy just a bunch of lengths and then cut for whatever you need. So what I'm thinking is 2 runs of E-TRAC across the wall, probably one about at knee height, and then another one at probably like mid-chest, and then a single piece along each side here. Like I had said, it takes about a year to accessorize a trailer, so we're figuring this out as we go, just like you guys do at home. So let's get to it. Since we're already in the habit of installing stuff in our trailer, we're gonna go ahead and install our winch as well. For our winch, we've gone ahead and chose a Rough Country Pro Series. This thing's rated at 9,500 pounds and comes with a synthetic rope ready to go. Now, it has a 5.5 horse motor with a 3-stage planetary, and this thing is gonna be awesome getting cars and vehicles in and out of the trailer. And to install the winch, we're gonna need to drill a couple holes and bolt this thing down. Now, the cool part about our United trailer is it came with a winch plate pre-installed, and it actually shows us in our map of our trailer. Knowing that our winch plate is right here, I've gone ahead and made a template of the feet of our winch, marked the center, and I'll be able to center that, and this is exactly where our winch is gonna sit. So I know I'm gonna want it right about here, in line with the halfway, like the center of our winch plate. Now it's simply figuring out how far I wanna put it from the wall. I'm gonna store our toolbox over this, so the winch will be under it and the toolbox will roll, so this will be underneath it. And if the toolbox is not tall enough, I want to have the ability to be able to move the winch controller to one of the sides of the winch. So that's nice and centered and about 2 inches off the wall. I think that's going to be perfect. So let's get some holes busted through the trailer. So I'm going to start with a 1/8 inch drill bit, go up to a 1/4, and then the 1/2 inch that I need. So I'm just going to drill my 4 starter holes. Well, I can see daylight through all 4 of the holes in our template, so that means we did something right. So we got our hardware, I got our winch nuts installed. Now I'm gonna crawl under the trailer and get all the bolts installed.
So now it's time to start getting this stuff hung. I'm gonna be using some of these trailer sheet metal screws to get this attached to the wall, and then also be tying in all the studs. So those are 16 on center. So I'll be drilling some holes to tie into that. So I got my first piece of E-TRAC attached to the wall, and man, am I excited. This stuff looks great. Now, if you look, I've kind of added a bunch of extra holes, and you might be wondering why I did that, seeing how there's a ton of holes in the E-TRAC already. And that's because I wanted to tie into the studs that I know are about 16 on center. So using one piece of E-TRAC, I kind of had to tie in between. It's exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna go ahead and put some more screws in just for added security and a couple more pieces on the wall so we can get our toolbox nice and secured when we're going down the road. Okay, so we have all our E-TRAC installed along with our winch all finished up and wired. Now, to run the winch wiring, I picked up a couple of these sealing discs from Seal It that you can use to run wires through firewalls and all sorts of other different stuff, and it's perfect for this application. Available right at Summit Racing. Now, I will tell you guys, it is getting cold here in Ohio, so we did move locations and we are in one of the Summit Racing storage facilities with our trailer, so we don't have to worry about staying warm. It's gonna make it a lot nicer. Stay tuned, we have tons of stuff coming along, like tools, a toolbox, some cool cabinets and storage solutions for the walls. You guys aren't gonna miss out. So until next time, I'm Justin with Summit Racing, and what are you working on?